It is always great catching up with my next guest, Saidyokub Kakhramonov, who's going to be back in action, taking on another Said Nurmagomedov, UFC Fight Night on December 17th. Saidyokub, how are you, man?
Hey man, how you doing? I'm great. Thanks for having me here.
That's great. How's the weather over there? I'm not that far away from you out here in Vancouver, British Columbia. We're getting a little bit of snow. Is it that bad, or how are you surviving?
It's a lot of snow and it's cold as fuck.
I like the honesty.
Oh,
A little bit like a Rocky training camp, right? So.
yeah, you go to gym, it's just like you're freezing for 30 minutes until you get used to it. It's
Yeah.
just bad.
Do you think that makes you tougher though? I always feel like when it is snowing, you feel a little bit grittier. I don't even fight and I feel that way. How do you feel?
Um, I think so too. I don't know. I think so too.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than going to the beach, like if you're training at ATT
Yeah.
or something. But anyways, that's that. We haven't seen you in a bit, man. I know you last fought in July. We're talking about a fight here in December. I know there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't believe you're with your management anymore. Well, what's the latest? Why haven't we seen you in so long?
It's because I don't know, man. I just think I just think there's when you are with a group of when you're with the pack, when you manage with the guy who has over 100 people in the UFC, and then the most of them are the bantamweights. I feel like I always got like, oh, they don't want to fight you, they don't want this. I mean, I get a lot of offers. I did get a lot of offers to fight. Like I think I had like two, three fight offers. I accept all of them, but they never. It just never happened. You know what I mean? It's just weird stuff. I feel like it just sometimes. I mean, it's my opinion, but I look at it like they're turning this shit into a monopoly. Like you know what I mean? If they like you, they will give you a fight. If they don't, you gotta wait on the sideline, which is to me just bullshit because this is my third fight in like almost 2 years.
Mhm.
It just it just it's just bullshit to me. And then yeah, but I mean I'm happy that I'm here. It's just more time to get ready, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
Well, were you surprised by that? I know you've dealt with this on the regional scene, but to get in the UFC and still have this happening where fighters don't want to fight you or there's, delays, like did that part surprise you a bit?
No, it does not surprise me. I mean, it does surprise me. Like, I was supposed to fight um, in Paris against Kalataha. I said, yeah, let's do it, short notice. I was ready to go and I was training. And then what I heard was like, oh, I wasn't a good matchup for him. That's why I didn't get to fight. I'm like, oh, wow, now we're picking and choosing who's good matchup, who's bad matchup. You know, I mean, it's not, how's that my fault if he got no wrestling? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I mean, tell me how you want me to fight. If you want me to just go in and stand up, whatever. You know what I mean? Just sometimes I just want to win a fight, and I just some lots of bullshit.
No, there's a lot of politics in
Yeah,
the sport, and you're not the only one I hear this from. I hear this from other fighters as well, where they've been in the UFC for a while and they're still having fights not come through. Like there's a lot of political stuff. Just sort of last thing on that, are you like do you have new management now, or are you just being rep by yourself? How are you going through your UFC contract now?
well, I do have another manager. We're gonna after this fight, we will get the contract done, and then I'm happy with these guys. I'll be the only UFC fighter in his roster, and then I'll get all the attention I want.
Nice.
And yeah.
Good stuff. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Let's talk about this fight, man. Big opportunity here, big name. Obviously, whenever you see the Nurmagomedov last man, obviously there's a lot of interest there. Was this someone that you'd been kind of keeping your eye on as far as a matchup? And how excited are you to get this fight?
Yeah, I'm excited to get this fight, man. I knew when we fought last time. I looked at him. I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of fighters don't want to fight me.
Mhm.
This is gonna be the one that I'm going to take. I already knew I was gonna fight this guy. I'm not even surprised at all.
Give me a bit of context here. I mean, I know you're originally from Uzbekistan, correct? I know you were born there. Like he's from Russia. How big is this fight internationally? Like to North American fans, it's just another fight, but I got to imagine online there's a lot of interest in this fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of fight, and then most of the guys don't. A lot of people saying that why this matchup? You know what I mean? They don't want to. I guess they don't want to see us fight each other, but I think it's a fight game. You know what I mean? I don't care who it is. It can be him. It can be whoever. You know what I mean? We're in the UFC. We're gonna fight each other regardless. So
What's been the fan response to this? Like you said, a lot of them don't want to see you guys fight each other. Has there been any trash talk, or has it been pretty much like a lot of respect between both of you fighters?
man, I wish there was something that going on. This guy is such a like he's just like not he's like a ghost, man. He don't post nothing on his social media. Like he's just I hate this guy so much because of that. Like I want to just beat the shit out of him. Like bro, like you act like you don't want to fight me. You're not fighting me. That's some bullshit. Like have some interest in the fight. Like how the fuck you 8 fights in the UFC, 7 fights in the UFC, you still fighting in the prelims? Like I want to be in the main card. That's why I picked this fight so I can be in the main card. Now that I check, I think I'm still in the prelims. Like I'm promoting this fight more than he's doing it. Like just like with Ronnie on his last fight, like these motherfuckers don't post.
Mhm.
Like on what's going on with you guys? And then you guys complain about the pay because of course they're not gonna pay you motherfuckers because you're not doing anything about to help the company. Like you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like every time I think about that, like I just get mad. Like you know what I mean? Like post something about the fight. You're not posting. Like it's all right though. There's no respect at all. I don't give a shit about this guy. Like he's not close to me at all. Like you know what I mean? He might be from Russia. I'm far away from these people. We don't even have the same culture. It's two different culture.
Mhm.
To me, it's just some another guy. You know what I mean? But people that watch us like back, this those regions, like they say like, oh, they obviously think different because they're not fighters. They think like, oh, why this matchup? Why that? I'm like, why not? I mean, this will get me closer to 15. I'm beat this dude. I'm gonna be top 15 next on Monday easily.
Would you advise him to talk to your buddy Terrence McKinney about social media because he seems to be killing it, much like yourself? I know both of you have been pretty active.
Yeah, he needs to. Not only him. There's so many idiots like him that don't do nothing about social media. Maybe they just don't have the charisma or character to show to people. Maybe they just shy. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like that too. Sometimes I post stuff, I see stuff, and then I just look back and I'm like, shit, like, I don't want to post this shit. Let me delete it. Like, it goes through your mind, but, you gotta just don't turn on your phone. Just don't go back to it because some people, 100 people might like it. Maybe 2 of them don't like it. You know what I mean? So you gotta do it for the people who likes it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a sec because I did see some tweets that you had and some people responding and just being weird. We'll talk about that in a sec. But let's talk about your opponent here. I mentioned him here, 16-2 record. How are you looking at this fight from a style perspective? You against him. How are you looking at this one?
I mean, stylistically, I think it's perfect. You know what I mean? Perfect fight, perfect fight. Um, I took this fight in a heartbeat. They called me. They're like, "This is the fight, or you gotta wait." I'm like, "No, we're not waiting. Let's get this done."
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this matchup.
Yeah, and we mentioned being in the cold there. Who have been some of your main training partners? We got your sidekick there, Terrence McKinney. Who else are you getting to work with?
I got, like you said, Terrence McKinney here. We have another fighter who joined our team, Chris Lencioni. He
Oh,
fights at
awesome.
Bellator.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's awesome.
We,
Used to be known as
yes,
Sunshine, I think. I don't know if he still is, but
yes, he's Sunshine. Yeah, he's fighting at Bellator on December 9th, I think. And it's been him, and we have some other up and coming guys in the gym. So it's been a great camp for me.
yeah, good mix for sure, man. How about the weight cut? We just had Thanksgiving. What was it, a couple weeks ago? But I know you're probably still keeping on point with the weight. How's everything going?
Oh, weight is perfect. Weight is perfect. Thanksgiving, I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving because it's
Yeah.
not my thing. I mean, I did eat, like, I went to Terrence's house, I had plate, and I went to my coach Pablo Alfonso's house, I had a plate. But, I don't walk around heavy like other guys. I think I'm like the perfect 135er in the division. I don't
Mhm.
cut a lot, and then I'm not too big, I'm not too small.
Your corner, who will be in the cage with you that night?
My corner would be Pablo Alfonso, my head coach, MMA coach. And then it's going to be Terrence McKinney, and then my boxing coach, Ricky Ledesma.
Love it. That's great. And how do you see this fight playing out? You mentioned it being a perfect matchup. How do you see this one playing out on December 17th?
I'm getting the W. There's no question about it in my mind. I'm going to run this guy through. He just because he acts like we're not fighting.
How many more fights do you have on your contract?
I have two more. I have two more left. This is my third. I think I have a 4 fight contract deal, and hopefully after this one, I'm gonna get the new one. That's the goal, to get a new contract and then move
Yeah, I was
on.
gonna say good timing because this fight's at the end of the year. You're fighting a notable guy. Like you go out there and get a win. That's got to be some nice leverage to go back into renegotiating, right? So,
Of course, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Do you feel like you're getting the respect you deserved in the division right now? Because I feel like you don't. I'm glad to see you get this matchup, but I feel like you got to look at your record, who you fought, and everything else. I feel like I know bantamweight's stacked, but do you feel like you're a bit of a dark horse in the division?
I think I am, but at the same time, I think they do respect, but from who? Like, you mean the fighters or the
No, I
organization?
just mean like the fans in general. You know, if you look at the rankings, I know again it's a deep division, but I feel like this is a fight where if you win it, you probably should be in the rankings. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, who else I gotta beat to get the rankings? If Umar beats 3 cans and gets ranked, you know what I mean? Why not me? But
Yeah.
if even though I don't get ranked, but I think I will. So yeah, good timing. Yeah.
So I was mentioning your tweets earlier. One of your tweets, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I just want to discuss something that someone had said. But I know you said, with obviously this whole thing that's going on with James Krause. You said they got to look into their managers. They're the biggest bettors on their clients. And I saw some guy go after you and say that you were accusing a manager, but you didn't mention any manager names. You were just saying as something in general. Just what did you think of the response to that? I thought that was interesting.
I think if you look at those people, they don't even got pictures on their page. They're just idiots who hide behind. But I think they're both. I don't even take them serious.
Yeah.
But with me saying that, I mean, there's, I mean, come on, man. There's nothing. I like how I think is there's nothing wrong with betting on yourself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I bet on myself my first fight, second fight. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I will never ever bet against myself. That's where you run into trouble. You
Mhm.
can't. Yeah, you know what I mean. I think you should be still be able to bet on yourself, because why not bet on yourself? You know what I mean. You're risking. You know what I mean. It's a risk. You don't know you're gonna go win. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when there's a when I said the managers, there's some managers that most of the time both of their clients fight each other, and then they got the inside info about the fighters, and then they go bet. I think that's fucked up too. You know what I mean? They shouldn't let
Right.
them bet either. You know what I mean? And I know so many of them who does it, and I have not mentioned no name, but it's true. You know what I mean? You shouldn't, if your clients fighting each other, you shouldn't be involved in that, making money in there.
I agree. And there was that article on ESPN where there was a coach who said he was in the locker room, he saw a fighter wasn't looking so good, and then he placed a bet. Like that's technically inside information, right? So like what do you make of some of the steps they've made? Obviously they banned James Krause basically. Like he can't, none of the fighters can work with him. They're making steps now to make sure that no one can bet. Because I can understand that part, to be honest, because how do you monitor that? How do you monitor if a fighter's betting on themselves, or you know what I mean? Like, so if you kind of do a blanket ban, then it kind of prevents anyone from doing it. What do you think of what the steps the UFC is making?
I think that's a great steps. You know what I mean? They're doing a great job. I mean, the greed catches up on a human being. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You do once, you're making easy money coming, and you want to keep doing it. But eventually, you know how it is. Easy comes, easy goes. It doesn't matter. It's been in the universe of the world. Anybody who made the easiest money, even the gangsters, the mobs, all those people made easy money. Eventually, they got caught up. That's how it happens, man. Easy comes, easy goes. It's hard to control the greed. And then I think UFC is doing a great job. I feel like, I mean, I do feel bad for the fighters that who has to
Same here. Yeah.
deal with it, even though they had nothing to do with this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I mean, my gym is open. Warriors came, Spokane. You know what I mean? 135s, 145s, 155s. You guys are welcome. You know what I mean? We can train. It's
Yeah.
great to live in Spokane.
Yeah, it certainly is. And my last question kind of ties into Spokane. Would you be open to the UFC doing an event in Seattle? It's been a while. They got the new arena there where the Kraken play. Is that something you'd like to see? I know you haven't lived there that long, but is that something you'd want to see, an event in Seattle?
Like you said, I don't really care about Washington like that. You know, I'd rather
Okay.
fight. You know, I have more fan base in New York City than anywhere else in the world. or Chicago.
I was going to say Chicago. I know that's. I think when we first did our interview years ago, you were still living in Illinois, right? So I figured that might have been on the list. So
2016, when I was still in PFL, I think you were the first guy one of the first biggest MMA guy who did an interview for me. You know what I mean? And then
kept in touch ever since. I didn't know that. I know you hadn't done a ton of media, but I didn't know I was one of the first. And I appreciate you saying I'm big time. I'm just like everyone else, man. But I'm happy to happy to do interviews with you, man.
Yeah, to me, 2016 when I was fighting in PFL, like, you know what I mean, when I did interview with you, to me it was, big to me because, it was my first big interview. That's how I looked at it. But go back to your question, and New York City, I have more fans in New York City and Chicago than in Seattle. I mean, in Spokane, I just train here. Not a lot of people know me out here, you know what I mean? But my fans are in New York City or Chicago.
Yeah, and I think people forget you fought Umar in PFL. Like you fought. This is what I mean. Like your resume, man. If you look at who you fought, it's a very extensive resume that I don't think you get enough credit for, man.
I don't know if you saw the odds for this fight. I'm the favorite.
Well, that's good. It's a start, right? Because usually, if you're fighting Nurmagomedov, I'm usually the underdog, right? So
yeah,
there you go.
I'm coming for this guy. They don't understand. They just think it's a game. No, it's not. 15 minutes. Nobody can hang with me. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I love it, man. Last question. Holidays. I know again the focus is on December 17th, but are you going anywhere for the holidays? You're gonna stay in Spokane?
What holidays? Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know. Like some people like to take some time off and stuff. I don't know. What are you up to? Or is it back in the gym on Monday after the fight?
Oh, after the fight, I gotta be back in the gym because I'm going to Brazil with Terrence McKinney.
Oh, so that's right. Okay, yeah, it's all business.
Help him out, so I'm gonna be in his corner. So I gotta be back to gym and then help him out, and maybe after that, by the time hopefully he fights, maybe I'll get another fight. I feel like I'll be busy. 2023, I'm going to be busy. No time.
Still making time for interviews. Said, thank you so much for doing this, man. If there's anyone you'd like to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors or any social media you'd like to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Thanks for having me here. Follow me on Instagram. It's Saidyokub135. I like to thank my coaches, Warriors Camp, for sticking out with me. You know what I mean? Having my back. You know what I mean? Yes, that's all I gotta say.